Repeat, we cannot have a system wherein some people from a certain region will always enjoy the favor to prosper in a nation. And on the other side, we will have some people who will always have the shorter end of the stick. It is a complete recipe for anarchy, for injustice. Because imagine a Senator Abaribe in the Senate House of Assembly just some hours ago trying to push for the immortalization of their own hero. Okay, because we know that Odumeje Ojukwu has not really gotten that national conferment and immortalization as he should because of that war that he had against the Nigerian government. But again, there's a man who has been seen by the Igbos to be a custodian of democracy. And this is the renowned and the very popular Professor Humphrey Nwosu, who announced the result, who pronounced Ibrahim Babangida as the winner of the 1993 election before IBB struck. Okay? But what do we see going on in the Senate is that the senators from the north, these are the Fulani oligarchs, immediately silenced him and told him, Abaribe, we have had enough of you. This will not pass. And with immediate effect, they passed a voice vote to silence him. That bill will not see the light of the day. I'm going to show you what actually transpired, but let me just have a conversation with you guys for like 3 to 4 minutes, then we'll go and watch that video. You see, we this when we continue to say that a Nigeria that was bequeathed to us by our colonial masters is a Nigeria designed to only favor some parts, most especially these are the core north, not the middle belt. The middle belt are even marginalized even within their own region. And mind you, this same Nigeria does not favor the Yorubas. No matter how you want to paint it, how you want to look at it, because the Yorubas, yes, haven't enjoyed the power twice. I mean, yes, since the last 24 years, the Yorubas have been the president for at least, now it's going to be 12 years. They've had a fair share of 8 years now. They have a possibility to go for additional 8 years, making it 16 years. In fact, the Yorubas want to now look like those that have enjoyed the democracy more. When I mean democracy in the Fourth Republic. But since the inception of a nation called Nigeria since 1914, it has always been the North who control the political affairs of the country, the policies, how they impact and affect the life of the people. The Northerners have to be consulted, and this is why you see that the Sharia, everything in the Constitution, they are just always favored. What was the simple thing Abaribe asked for? Let us immortalize this man. Let us recognize Humphrey. After all, we saw how the Yorubas were able to fight. Now we have a democracy day, which is, that day has been made sacred. That June 12th will be a day to recognize and, of course, to immortalize Abiola. They call it June 12th Democracy Day. Now, that aside, Abiola has also been given what we call posthumous presidential honors. Tinubu is doing everything to confer on Abiola what we call the posthumous presidential honors, whereby Abiola's portrait will sit amongst the president of the country, even if he never for a day governed this country. They want to do that. But again, some people, the Igbos, are seeking for something as minor as this, that let us immortalize Humphrey, that gave that honor. The Southwestern senators could not rise up and support Abaribe. What we found out was they were even, stylishly against him. But the voices that were loudest the most were, of course, the Northerners, who were telling him, Abaribe, you are becoming a thorn in the flesh. Let us now watch that video together. And when afterwards, we'll come back for further analysis.
51 and order 51. Order 41. Matter for discussion, a matter of urgent public importance. The matter for discussion shall, if possible, be referred to the President of the Senate before commencement of the day's sitting, and the President of the Senate shall refuse to allow the order and the claim unless he is satisfied.
We don't wish to, you can continue. We are through with these two orders. You may proceed to state your matter.
Thank you, Mr. President. This matter is a motion to immortalize the architect of June 12, Professor Humphrey Nwosu. And I'm not the only sponsor. This is also sponsored by other senators, Senator Bamoro, Senator Joseph Carlo, Senator Austin Akobondo. The late Professor Humphrey Nwosu was the former National Electoral Commission NEC chairman from 1999 to 1993. Further notes that Professor Humphrey Nwosu supervised the 1993 presidential elections. Aware that the courageous defense of democratic electoral process during the 1993 presidential election led to the famous June 12 slogan, which ultimately confirmed Alhaji MKO Abiola as the winner.
It's okay. Well, the leader said he has a point of order. I don't know on this matter that he wanted to bring forward, and well, but he said he has point of order. Let me, Peter.
Thank you. My point of order is pursuant to Order 41, sub 3 of our rules. And with your permission, sir, I will read. 41.3. A senator moving a motion under combined orders 41 and 51 shall ensure that copies of the motion are available for all senators when approval to move the motion is granted. This...
Mr. President, they are all available. They are all there with them. We brought it. We don't have a motion.
Well,
we are just looking at where we don't have
well, I think we should stay until they are given. I don't want to go. Let's step it down until everybody gets it. We'll come back to it. Views, and it's left for the Senate to decide on what to be done on such views. Others see him as someone. Anyway, you move your motion. Okay, my colleagues, can you please listen? Can you please listen? Now it's up to you. I'll put the question and I'll walk in line with whatever you decide. Of course, it's a bit controversial. Some see him as someone who truncated June 12. Some see him as a hero of June 12. So it's up to you. We'll put the question. Those in favor that this motion should go through, please say aye. Those against, say nay. The nays have it. The leader of the Senate. National Rules for Bill 2024 SB 747, first reading taken. The Leader of the Senate.
By the indulgence of the Senate and the leave of the President of the Senate, a senator may make a personal explanation, although there be no question before the Senate. Yes, Mr. President, can I go on with the personal explanation?
Consult the Senate Leader. My distinguished colleagues, of course, this motion is very, very controversial. But we're in a democracy. We allow our colleagues to table their views, and it's left for the Senate to decide on what to be done on such views. Others see him as someone. Anyway, you move your motion. Okay, my colleagues, can you please listen? Can you please listen? Now it's up to you. I'll put the question and I'll walk in line with whatever you decide. Of course, it's a bit controversial. Some see him as someone who truncated June 12. Some see him as a hero of June 12. So it's up to you. We'll put the question. Those in favor that this motion should go through, please say aye. Those against, say nay. The nays have it. The Leader of the Senate. National Rules for Bill 2024 SB 747, first reading taken. The Leader of the Senate.
Let us not establish a very dangerous precedent.
You can come order.
Points of order and personal exploration can be raised at any point of the proceedings of the Senate. Don't make it a rule, because if you do so, then you will be denying a lot of us, almost the entire Senate, any opportunity to interject and intervene when things are going wrong. Therefore, you to say that, it has to come at a certain point under Order 38 is absolutely wrong. Look, we have been managing this Senate for some time, and at no time has this particular kind of thing come in to deny members an opportunity to raise points of order, and also to expect personal opinions and personal matters not to be raised under Order 10 is to truncate the independence of senators and to not allow them to interject in the procedure of the Senate to raise issues that are very fundamental and fundamental to them and their constituencies. Therefore, I think, with all the due respect, the position that is advocated by our distinguished Senate leader is not correct.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Very distinguished colleagues, I'm rising under Order 38 of our rules, and I'm doing this with utmost respect to most distinguished Senator Abaribe. Order 38 deals with the order of business, and I make specific reference to Sub 1, which deals with formal entry of the president. Sub 2, which deals with our opening prayer. Sub 3, which deals with approval of votes and proceedings. Sub 4, which deals with oath and affirmation. 5, message from the president. And 6, other announcement by the president of the Senate. 7, petitions. 8, matters of urgent public importance. 9, personal explanation. And 10, order of the day. Mr. President, the reason I'm doing this is for me to be able to emphasize that we had gone past sub 1 up to 9 of our order of the day. And as a matter of fact, by now we're supposed to be on the second business of the day. So time for matters of urgent public importance as well as time for personal explanation had already passed. My advice, Mr. President, Mr. President, personal explanation cannot be raised at any time. The only time personal explanation can be raised at any time is if we, by our own collective consent, come under order 1B to regulate our procedure. But to the extent that our procedure is regulated by this rule book, order 9, sub 9 comes before 10. We are on 10. You are the one that will rule on this.
Are you correct on that point of order?
But Senator Abaribe,
Order what? Leader. Order.
the same order 10.
Can I rule on this first? Otherwise directs the business of each sitting day shall be transacted in the following order, and all is stated here. We need to be just, and if we are to be just, clearly what the Senate leader said is the right thing. It is our rule. If the Senate so decides, of course, through votes, then this order can may be changed, and bring some other things. But as far as I know, as a presiding officer, this is that we have gone past through the stage that personal explanation can come in. So your point of order is upheld.
Or by the sessional or other orders of practice of the Senate shall by resolution regulate its procedure. So even if the Senate leader says that it doesn't follow, by the fact that a senator wants to make a personal explanation, you must give that senator a chance to make that personal explanation. We are not under a dictatorship, Mr. President. That is why I'm using 1B to come.
Well,
it's at your discretion, Mr. President.
Yes.
Because if at your discretion you say we can't talk,
former minority leader,
thank you, Mr.
very
President.
experienced.
I'm glad that you recognize that I was a former minority leader.
Thank you very much.
I know the rules.
Yes, former majority leader, former minority leader. We are all experienced order.
Or by the sessional or other orders of practice of the Senate shall by resolution regulate its procedure. So even if the Senate leader says that it doesn't follow, by the fact that a senator wants to make a personal explanation, you must give that senator a chance to make that personal explanation. We are not under a dictatorship, Mr. President. That is why I'm using 1B to come.
Well,
it's at your discretion, Mr. President.
Yes.
Because if at your discretion you say we can't talk,
former minority leader,
thank you, Mr.
very
President.
experienced.
I'm glad that you recognize that I was a former minority leader.
Thank you very much.
I know the rules.
Yes, former majority leader, former minority leader. We are all experienced, and I refer you to order 42 once again. Order 42. by the indulgence of the Senate and the leave of the President of the Senate, a senator may make a personal explanation, although there be no question before the Senate, but no controversial matter